What's up, guys? BioPrepPV here, and today, before we get to the Source 2 flight, it took me a while to get that thing built and get that thing going. Had some issues with the Strix F10. Mainly, when I went ahead and armed it, it would go right to full throttle, and then I would have to shut it off right away because it would just go to the moon. I mean, the motors were at 100%. So I did some digging and found out that there's probably some noise in the gyro or somewhere in the system. Maybe the code isn't right, I don't know. But I lowered it, took the 32K mode off, lowered it down to 8K, and it seems to be working now just fine. I am using, I think, Butterflight 3.6, which is, I think it's 3.6 or 3.7, which has the new Smart Audio 2.1 support. So I needed that for my video transmitter, so I have not tried an older firmware. Might work better with older firmware, I don't know, but I know that I want to use my new Unify that I use, so I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to run it at 8K. Now, the whole purpose of Helio was to get that, really awesome filtering using the IMUF and their proprietary software. But right now, Helio appears to be, I guess, closed up at this point. They made a post saying that there were only 3 or 4 guys doing it, and it just wasn't sustainable for them to do it. So they did make the IMUF open source, but that takes somebody to know coding and being somebody a lot smarter than me to go ahead and go into that and start making improvements to IMUF. Now, Butterflight isn't dead. They pretty much wanted to do is implement the common filter, and they did that, and now they're just merging Betaflight updates into Butterflight. So we're still going to get Butterflight updates. So any board you have right now is not going to just suddenly stop working. This is still going to work, but just like the IMUF stuff is just going to be stagnant, and unless somebody takes that over and starts doing updates to it, we're pretty much stuck with the last release, I think, which was FU mode, which was the fully unleashed mode as well. And I think they also have some release candidates too for different updates and betas and stuff, but you can mess with that stuff if you want to. I mean, I loved Helio. I loved how it flew. I felt like prop wash handling was really awesome with the Helio, and that's why I continued to support it on my channel and made all those setup videos, because I really kind of truly believed in it. But at this point right now, it looks like the project is dead, and if you're going to be purchasing a new flight controller, I probably would not recommend to go with the Helio unless you already have some and you know how they flew and you're okay with getting just software updates from merged stuff from Betaflight. So if you're okay with that, but if you're new into this hobby, I probably would not, or even looking for a new flight controller for some type of new build you're doing, I probably would either go with maybe like a Radix, which I heard a lot of good things about, and I probably will be featuring that on my channel real soon. Maybe another like a CLR Racing F4. If there's some F7s that are just Betaflight targets, so I mean anything but that would probably be better off using. I just would not recommend you doing the Strix F10, especially because, like I said, there's some issues with it, and then there's also the buzzer port does not work, so you cannot use a buzzer with it. I'm not sure if you can use the motor buzzer. I have not tried that, but I know the buzzer pads do not work on the flight controller itself. But the older ones, like the Spring and even like the Mini, I believe they had enough revisions to them to where they're pretty solid. I think my Gecko flies really nice, and I don't really think I'm going to be swapping it for any time soon. I probably would just destroy it before I want to go ahead and update it. And then the Springs, those are probably still good too, but just expect they're not going to have any more IMUF updates in the near future, or any time now to in the future, as far as we know. But let's go ahead and get to the Source 2 flight and see how that went. I went ahead and participated in a MultiGP race over in Tulsa, and yeah, so we'll watch that here. Sorry, it's not really high def footage. It's just my DVR. I know how some people don't like watching that. Me specifically, I don't like watching really DVRs either, unless I'm watching someone race and do stuff like that. But I hope you guys watched the video, like the video, and enjoy the flight.